From the summer of 2023 to now, the spring of 2024, this year has absolutely been a blessing. But as the winter snow melts away and spring creeps in, it looks like this journey is coming to an end. Finally finishing all my exams, this might be my last long trip before indulging myself back into the world of medicine. You never know. But somehow it feels like I'm just getting started. People I met this year made me realize how privileged I am to be able to travel around with my passport, but also how much more there is to see in this world. They showed me it is possible to always live like this. Is this really the end? Is this all gonna be over after this trip? I might be able to find my answers in the Himalayas of Nepal.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kathmandu. The local time here is 4:27 in the afternoon. For safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft.
So after a long day of traveling, I haven't slept at all and I'm so exhausted. I finally arrived here in my hotel in Kathmandu. Others are gonna arrive from Hong Kong later tonight and we are going to have our pre-trek briefing tomorrow morning. And we are going to stay here in the city for one more day and then we will be heading towards the mountains. It was my first time in Nepal and my first time hiking in the high altitudes. We chose to hike with guides and porters so that we could just focus on enjoying the hike. Before heading out to the mountains, we had a briefing at their office to basically go through our itinerary. The Annapurna area was first opened to foreign trekkers in 1977. Since then, the ACT has been voted the best long-distance trek in the world, and as its popularity skyrocketed, the infrastructure along the way also improved. Roads has been constructed which made the whole trail more accessible and also shortened the trail. We opted to start our hike in Chame, which lies 240 kilometers northwest of Kathmandu. To say it took a long time to drive there was an understatement. We're halfway there now and we stopped at a town called Pisang. I'm quite amazed at how busy it is here because the road here is quite rough. Half of the road was non-existent, but we're going to change into a jeep now, so the road will probably be worse. We're having lunch now first though. For lunch we had our third debak on the trip. It is a dish made of lentils and rice and it is considered to be the national dish of Nepal. To be completely honest, I'm not a huge fan of both rice and lentils, so I wasn't very big on the debak and I stuck to pasta instead for our later meals. It was the bumpiest ride I've ever been on in my life and we were constantly along the edge of cliffs. I was super lucky I called shotgun, because everyone else in the back said they were like Mario collecting coins the whole time, bumping their heads into the ceiling. We're finally here. It's 6:30 and my neck hurts and my fingers are a little bit tingling. It's the first day today, so we're taking it slow and easy, but there's way more people on the track than I expected. It's nice though, the views are amazing. A 7-hour flight, a 4-hour layover, another 4-hour flight, and a 10-hour drive later, this highly anticipated adventure finally began. As we walked along the Masyangni River, we were constantly amazed by the beauty of the landscapes around us. Growing up in Hong Kong, it's not often we see snowy jagged mountain peaks. We basically stopped every 10 steps to soak in the fact that we were surrounded by these thousands-year-old giants and to take photos and videos of everything. We just finished an uphill session and we are all pretty gassed right now. And we're stopping every few steps for water because staying hydrated is pretty important in the high altitudes. The trail was wide and flat. It wasn't a technical trail. Soon we arrived at the first of many suspension bridges we would cross on this journey. Seeing rivers rush by beneath our feet while on a wobbling bridge sure was daunting. As the afternoon's harsh light came in, everyone grew hungry and tired. It was not a difficult day by any means, but our bodies were still getting used to trail schedules. By the end of today, we were able to have a glimpse at Annapurna the 2nd and the 4th, reminding me indeed I was hiking the Annapurna Circuit Trek. After a long day of walking, finally seeing our tea house in Upper Pisang was a relief. Another early morning, we just had breakfast, and from today onwards we're not allowed to eat any meats anymore, so it's gonna be high carbs food so that we can maintain our calorie levels.
Yeah, let's go.
This is the Green Neck, and it really reminds me of the lakes in Dolomites. It's green with mountains in the background. Mornings were long in the mountains. Breakfast started at 6 on most days, but lunch was usually served after 1 p.m. Us being city dwellers were too used to eating whenever we wanted to and whatever we wanted to. By the time we stopped for lunch, we were exhausted. This was also my first time hiking with a group. We all had different expectations, we all had different paces. There was a lot of adjusting to do. Being surrounded by such intriguing scenery and a group of people who knew how to have fun certainly made things easier. So yesterday we got Annapurna the 2nd and Annapurna the 4th, so today we are getting Annapurna the 3rd. And look at this range goer, it's crazy. The elements of surprise by the snowy mountains had diminished by this point. The winding roads were dusty, and the weather changed quickly from the warmth under the harsh sun to the clouds rushing in. Sharing a path with trucks passing by from time to time was not particularly fun. I would say most of us were mostly just looking forward to the ice lake hike the next day. So we're walking on the car road these 2 days. The road leads to Manang, where we are staying tonight. You might be wondering why we did not directly drive to Manang. That's because we need to climb gradually so we can acclimatize properly. Manang is a trekker's hub in the Annapurna region. Here you can find almost everything you need in the mountains. But we needed to rest up for our big climb tomorrow. We would be exploring Manang after we got back from Ice Lake. Once we got higher than 2,500 meters, there was always a possibility of getting altitude sickness. There were some home remedies that the locals used to prevent it, such as consuming lots of garlic and ginger. Thus, we were served with a delicious garlic soup and a cup of ginger lemon honey tea every dinner.
How was your day, Chame?
To have a better understanding of how our body was reacting to the high altitude and to better communicate how we were feeling, we measured our blood oxygen saturation level every night and documented any symptoms that we had. I looked forward to this every night because the results did get pretty fascinating as we got higher.
Did you have any headache, anything?
No, but I have a little bit of shortness of breath when I go up.
You have a little bit of...
Breathlessness.
Okay.
Tomorrow is a big day.
I would say second biggest day. I would say tomorrow morning, what we're going to do is I'm going to come to your rooms and then collect everyone's sleeping bag. We're going to put it in one big bag and take it with us. Okay? So yeah, just the essentials only.
So my SpO2 has been dropping pretty fast. It has already dropped like 10% within these 2 days. I knew my body would react badly with altitude, but not like this bad. For now, I'm quite worried about the 1,000-meter elevation gain tomorrow, but we'll see.
Today we're going to Ice Lake, 1,000 meters higher than where we are right now. So everybody, nice and slow, steady steps, keep drinking water. All right, that's it. Let's have fun.
Most trekkers usually spend an extra day in Manang to acclimatize. We, however, decided to take a slight detour from the ACT to not only climb 1,100 meters to the ice lakes, but also to camp there for the night. 1,100 elevation gain sounded really daunting, and boy was it tough. The mountains are not welcoming to those who come ill-prepared. I knew my body physically wasn't that strong, so every time I hiked, I relied on my mental strength. Sometimes it's simply not enough. I was just trying to focus on one step at a time and one breath at a time. Slowly and steadily, we zigzagged upwards. By the time we stopped for lunch, I didn't have any energy to chit-chat anymore. I've always had trouble with swallowing dry food, so I couldn't finish my sandwich. Maybe that was contributing to why I was struggling so badly too. I started falling behind after the halfway point. Our guide kindly offered to swap backpacks with me since mine was pretty heavy with all the camera gear. For a while, it did feel like I was reborn and was able to continue upwards. There was a small but cozy tea house near the ice lake. We stopped there for hot tea and garlic soup. Everybody needed that energy boost.
Do you need a pepper? Yeah. Pepper? Okay. This salt, okay?
This was also where we saw horses carrying passengers up to the mountains for the first time. It was kinda like calling an Uber on the Himalayas. You simply had to pay $100, which wasn't a lot for a horseback riding experience, to be honest, especially at such a high altitude. Then you would be risked to wherever the destination you agreed on. The tea house owner told us the ice lakes were way too windy to camp at, so we set our camps at a slightly lower altitude. After setting up camp, we offloaded unnecessary items from our bags and continued upwards. I was struggling so badly between our campsite and the ice lake, thus the lack of footage. I was only able to take a few steps each time before stopping to catch my breath like an end-stage COPD patient, which was pretty frustrating. I literally sobbed when we got to the first slick, so no one managed to capture it. I don't think I'll remember what the ice lakes looks like in a few years, but I definitely remember this climb.
Please don't get panicked. This is like a must needed hike. Alright, this pain will bring some joy later in coming days. Alright, trust me.
Absolutely.
You guys just took your time. Everybody, I know not everyone have same pace, and it don't have to be, because this is not a competition and we are not giving anyone gold medal, right? Yeah. So just trust your body.
Appreciate you.
Know how your body is feeling, just like Gloria, Katrina, Ramona, like, you know, they knew, like, yeah, it's better to come down. So come down, right? Just give it a little clap for
all of you guys.
All of you guys.
Well done, well done, well done.
Okay.
Maturing is realizing one shouldn't push beyond their limits. Mother Nature shouldn't be something we aim to conquer, and safety is a priority in the mountains. One of our teammates got really sick while we were waiting for dinner. She ultimately made the decision to head back down to Braga in the dark with one of our guides. We wanted to cook the instant noodles ourselves, but they insisted we should just lie back. So 2 hours later, here came our completely dried out spam and instant noodles. Everyone was freezing sitting out in the open for so long. Soon we called it a day. One big climb done, 2 more to go.